Hello, and for those of you who are here, thanks for joining. This is today's customer success webinar, so welcome. As you know, customer success is a new department here at Bravo, and it's been super fun getting to launch a department that is all about your success and our appreciation of you, our customers. So I'm Mack, I'm the CEO of Bravo. And before I fell in love with pawn software, I was in love with pawn and e-commerce. And for those of you who don't know me or my history, I'm a 5th generation pawnbroker, and I'm the only kid that I know who answered the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, with a pawnbroker. So I'm passionate about retail and e-commerce as well. I spent a lot of time during my summers in college and after college launching and maintaining a retail clothing boutique e-commerce site where I was responsible for everything from taking the pictures to item descriptions, email communications, advertising, and wrap, pack, and ship. So sort of the whole bundle there. So the purpose of today's webinar is really to show how you can drive more in-store and online traffic, how you can enhance your customer service, and how you can crush your goals during holiday. So in 2018, a little bit of research and background, e-commerce sales generate a ton of attention. A lot of people focus on talking about e-commerce, but in-store sales accounted for more than 80% of total sales and more than 70% of sales growth in holiday of 2018. Now, e-commerce sales did go up. So they went up 14%. A lot of that percentage actually has to do with an increase in growth in big box retailers. And so Target and Costco both reported a 25% increase in their digital sales during holiday. Walmart sales grew more than 25%. So the growth is mainly happening by big box retailers. Overall market sales in 2018 were 4.8% higher than in 2017. What I think is a really interesting number is that overall IT spend for big box retailers is more than 10%, whereas for the average retailer, it's less than 2%. And I would hypothesize that pawnbrokers spend even less than that on IT. The focus of this is really going to be that Bravo is a tool for you, and we want to make sure that you're pulling all of the levers that you have available to you to get the most out of both the system and the holiday season. Here's my predictions for holiday of 2019 and really what you're competing against if you believe that you're competing against big box retailers, Walmart, Amazon, Target, Best Buy, those types of companies. So the first is decentralized fulfillment, and pawnbrokers are the masters of multitasking. You're able to manage both sides of the business, the retail side and the loan side, and then also all of the regulatory and the compliance and the day-to-day tasks. And so by necessity, pawn shops who sell online have really become experts in using their store as mini distribution centers. And that's good for a lot of reasons, mainly efficiency and saving money and overhead with mini distribution centers. Big box retailers have caught on to this. And so they're cracking the code on key strategic issues such as how to use physical stores more efficiently, thus saving them more money. And Target and Walmart specifically have started using some stores as mini distribution centers. That's going to allow them to deliver product orders to customers faster than ever before. I'm going to talk a bit about mobile today. I spent a ton of time researching what holiday is going to look like this year. I read dozens and dozens of articles. Not a single one didn't mention mobile. And so that is going to be a key piece of where you're going to be able to pick up momentum because Bravo has the tools to allow you to do that. Really, when we talk about mobile, it's no longer a tactic, but it's really a strategic part of your business that you need to thrive. In 2018, 30% of holiday sales were on mobile. That equated to about $40 billion. Mobile consumers prefer to shop in-app than on mobile via browser. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the good news is that you can check that box because Bravo's got you covered. Ads are everywhere, and digital marketers estimate that we see between 4,000 and 10,000 ads every single day. And that doesn't take into consideration the increase of bombarding ads that we get during the holiday season. And so we're going to talk about this as well, but my question to you is, how many ads are you serving up to your customers during the holiday season? Because you can bet that every other retailer that has their cell phone, their email address, their phone number is figuring out a way to serve them advertisements for their company. And the last thing is really valuing consumer time. And industry leaders recognize the value of consumer time, and they work to ensure convenience, ease of access, quality service throughout the entire customer journey. And while old strategies, and I've heard a lot of pawnbrokers with this similar strategy, which is aiming to keep shoppers in the store longer so that you can sell more to them, customer-centric retailers use convenience as a point of differentiation for time-starved consumers. And this is an area that you can compete in this space. While your customers do value attractive pricing, they also demand easy, seamless transactions. So we're going to help you make sure that you're offering easy, seamless transactions to your customers. One easy prediction is to continually deliver on heightened customer desires, you need to increasingly implement data and technology solutions or risk becoming obsolete, because you can bet that every single retailer, big box retailer, e-commerce site is using their data and technology to sell. This webinar is going to cover 5 ways that you can maximize the holidays this year, and we're going to start with getting into the holiday spirit. That means decorating your store with lights. Create the magic in your store. Add strings of lights, to the front door, to your cases. Colors are super important to get your customers in the mood to shop. Red and green. Get ready. Get inspired. Go to Pinterest. Start looking up ways that you can decorate your windows and your cases. I grew up in pawn shops. They all had Christmas trees. That was a part of something that my dad really liked to do. I love that feeling of a Christmas tree in a pawn shop. Plus it makes it smell really good. If that's too much for you, or if you don't have the space, Santa hats are a great prop to use to get people in the mindset of holiday shopping when they come into your store. We're going to talk about signage specifically with layaways. But what about going through your store and looking for and identifying items that you think are good holiday presents, like a GoPro, for example, and you can put on the GoPro, Dad, be your daughter's hero, or something like that, to get people in the mindset of you have good presents in your store, you have good items that are good gifts, and they just need a little inspiration sometimes. So go through your store and look for things like that. We talked about smell already. If you don't want the real thing, you don't want to get a Christmas tree, no big deal. There's candles, sprays, diffusers, essential oils, lots of different types of smells you can pump into your store to make it smell like the holidays. Pawn ticket coupons and social logos and headers. So pawn ticket coupons specifically, if you're in a state that allows you to utilize that far right part of the pawn ticket, I highly recommend starting to use that to push your sales this holiday season. It's super simple to go in and drop these ads in here. So I put a little where to go down here. In Bravo System Configuration under the Transaction tab, we have a pawn ticket tab, and you just browse. The dimensions are super straightforward. You can create something in Word, in Paint, in Photoshop. If you have a marketing team, you can send it to them. If you need inspiration, I usually just Google something like vertical holiday digital ads. If you do that, you're gonna see a ton of different ideas specifically for the holidays. I will go ahead and send out this art for you after if this is something that you wanna recycle. Obviously, you'll just have to change the logo out. The other piece is Facebook. So if Facebook is part of your marketing strategy, I highly recommend updating your background cover photo with something that puts your logo on a holiday type background. Again, you can use Google for inspiration on this. If you just type in Facebook cover holiday photo, there's tons of backgrounds and ideas, and all you have to do is drop your logo on top of it. right, switching gears into e-commerce. The sweet spot is really to have 80% of your inventory listed on ByApp. And that's because when we do research and we see who's getting the most out of ByApp, that's the number that really starts making a difference. Let's break this down because ByApp is a marketplace that aggregates inventory of 400 stores across the United States, and we have 125,000 loyal customers who shop our site and 400,000 digital email subscribers that we start blasting starting in October. You can think of ByApp as a real pull strategy, not just a push strategy. And what that means is you're actually pulling customers in, not just pushing items for sale on the web. And so what we do every single day is we drive 1.3 million ad placements to your inventory every single day. That equates to 10 impressions per item or 6 clicks per item. And 90% of the items sold via ByApp are through Make an Offer. So that means if you've got 10 items listed through ByApp, you're getting 60 clicks a day on those items. So you can do the math and how important having 80% of your inventory is listed on ByApp, because you're gonna get that times 10 or times 6 clicks for every single item you have posted. And those clicks are branded to your store. So your store shows up, they're geo-targeted and located to your store. So there's a huge lift that you get from posting on ByApp, and it goes way beyond just the benefit of selling additional items and inventory turn. Let's talk a minute about how you can start to list more items on ByApp, because the key is really getting your categories set up in here. So you're gonna wanna go through and check these boxes. That means that when an item comes out to be priced, it's gonna default to sell online, and your employees would actually, or whoever's pricing, would uncheck it if it's something that you don't wanna sell online. But trust me on this one, this is the easiest way to get 80% of your inventory listed online. The only categories that you're gonna wanna make sure that you turn off are miscellaneous, scrap, and gift cards. I highly recommend going into your settings and getting this flipped over now. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Bravo product database and how you can go through and create really strong listings. The first thing is you're gonna go into the estimator and you're gonna make sure that it was described right. You're gonna add in any additional details, some of the additional questions that are asked when you go to price something. And the key here is making sure that the item is described actually as it is. That's gonna increase the chances of it selling and decrease the chances of it being returned. You're also going to want to come into Bravo product knowledge, where you're going to be able to see the channel distribution. And so that's going to tell you maybe this item sells for more in the store versus online. And you can see how often it's being sold in different channels. And that can help with the amount of effort that you put into actually creating the product listing. We also have Google, ByApp, and eBay as additional tools to help you research. I recommend researching directly out of that window so you don't have to do any extra searching. Bravo's gonna put in the manufacturer model for you, so all you have to do is look at sold listings and decide how you wanna price this. I do also recommend that when you're in eBay and you're looking at certain items and how they're selling and how much, try to take note if they're doing free shipping, 2-day shipping, what the rate is for shipping, because you want to be as competitive as possible when you're competing against big box retailers and e-commerce sites. This web title is what we feed into Google, Bing, and Yahoo every single day, and it actually makes up your product listing ad title. And so it's super important to make sure that that's described right and has the keywords that you think it needs to be fed in and show up at the top of a Google search. And then here you're going to modify if you want to do free shipping, like I mentioned before, if you want to change the flat rate amount for shipping. When you click OK and you accept it, as you know, it's going to go online. Let's talk about 10 items per day, because there's a saying that Desmond Tutu said that there's only one way to eat an elephant, and it's one bite at a time. And 80% of your inventory, depending on where you stand today, can seem super daunting. It can seem like a really big number of items that I'm asking you to list to get to 80%. And the best way to go about this is to put into place a process where you're just pricing and putting online 10 items per day. 10 items is totally manageable. You can make it a game or a contest among your employees, and you can create really beautiful listings if you're only doing 10 a day, and it's easy to check that off. Just get in the habit of waking up in the morning and getting your 10 items listed per day. You're gonna see the benefits of that starting to happen immediately, which should give you a good incentive to keep going. I got a really good question recently about this, and the question was, which items should I start with, or what items sell fastest during holiday? And so I really broke it down into electronics, handbags, jewelry, and firearms. And specifically with electronics and jewelry, game consoles, Apple products, tablets, laptops sell great. With jewelry, ladies jewelry, and both gents and ladies watches. So if you're looking for a place to start, I suggest starting there. All of this effort is worth it. And like I mentioned, as soon as you start getting into a regular practice of listing your items every single day, you're gonna start seeing a lift, because this is the lift that our customers see when they're listing 80% of their items on ByApp. So customers who list 80% of their items on ByApp compared to those who don't list on ByApp see 112% more retail sales and 330% more loan balance growth. And there's a lot of reasons for that loan balance growth. In today's webinar, I'm trying to focus more on the retail side of the business. But when your employees know that they can turn over and sell an item that they're taking in the loan counter in 14, 21, 30 days, and they feel confident about that, they will loan more. And lastly, customers who sell on ByApp see $82,436 more than those who don't per year. So if that's a number that seems attractive to you, start small, start with 10 items a day, you can get there too. Switching gears again into text messaging or digital marketing platform. And I know some of the people in this webinar have it and some do not. So I'm gonna talk about the benefits of texting and how easy it is. I'm gonna go through and show you how you can segment your customers. And for those of you who don't have it, maybe this gives you a few ideas on maybe you might wanna add it during the holiday season. So the reality of text messaging is that it's way more effective than sending emails. In fact, 98% open rate for text compared to 15 or 20% open rate for email. So that alone is a huge, great reason to switch to text messaging for marketing purposes. Texting is available on any mobile device, so you don't need a mobile app or a smartphone to be able to get a text message. Every phone can get a text message. And it's personal and everywhere. 91% of all Americans have their mobile phone device within reach 24/7. So if you're somebody that puts your phone on your bedside when you fall asleep, that phone is literally next to you 24/7. Text messages are immediate. 90% of texts are read within 15 minutes of receiving them. And for the average person, it only takes 90 seconds to respond. And then lastly, there is a really good coupon redemption or promo redemption that happens in text versus email. And that's just because people get bombarded with email promotions and coupons. Some people have a separate email address for junk email or for these types of promotional emails, so they don't even get it, read it, open it, and they never redeem their coupons. Whereas text messaging, when you get somebody's cell phone number, that's gold. They typically don't have an extra cell phone number for junk messages that they get. So you know that when you're sending them a promotion that they're getting it. And text messaging and digital marketing, if you get into it, is one of the most fun parts, I think, in Bravo. And we really allow you to slice and dice your customer data so that you can send really relevant content to your customers instead of just one huge text that says we're having 10% off, come on in. And so the idea is that You can create different categories of buyers by sex, by how often they come in, when the first time they came in, when the last time they did business with you was. Maybe they're a new customer. Maybe they're a really old customer. Maybe you want to offer them something special if they've done, if they've bought more than 5 items from you this year. Lots of different ideas. If you need inspiration, your customer success manager is great at helping segment. So get in touch with them if you need some inspo there. Within customer ad hoc, so you go into customers, you go into ad hoc, we're gonna do a customer promo for everybody who's purchased more than $1,000 worth of sales this year. I'm gonna do it for customers. You can also segment just web customers if you are selling a lot online and transacted between. And one of my favorite holiday promos is to give free gift cards. So tier your customers who have spent between 500 and 1,000, 1,000 and 2,500, 2,500 and 5,000, 500, 5,000 plus, and send them a text that says, hey, come in, we have a free gift card for you to use in our store for your holiday shopping this year. It can be $50, $100, $200, $250. Don't make it contingent on anything. You already know that they're a great customer. Have them come in, do their holiday shopping in your store. They're gonna spend more money than the $50 that you gave them in a free gift card. So here's an example. Thanks for shopping with us this year. As a thank you, we're offering you a free gift card. Come on in and redeem it. Offer valid through whatever date you want it valid through. And again, these are really fun to get creative on. And the segments don't have to be huge. You can test them with smaller segments. So if you want to just try it and do 50 text messages and see what your day is like, you can totally do that. You do not have to blast all 20,000 or 200,000 of your customers, depending on how long you've been in business and how many customers you have in your database. Switching gears out of mobile and out of text messaging and into mobile is layaways. So layaways are, in my opinion, the second best part of the pawnbroking business. If you don't offer layaways and you're not telling your customers about layaways, I highly recommend you start doing so. And this is one of those things that you should start today. Start now. That way you give your customers enough time to pay off layaways for the holiday season. The future is mobile. And I said that I was going to talk about this a lot, and here I go talking about it again. Every article that I read talked about mobile being a part of strategy for 2019, and Bravo has you covered with mobile. Mobile payments are gold. They can happen after hours. And do you know that customers who have your mobile app downloaded come into your store twice as frequently as those who don't? This is I would say a myth about mobile apps, is that your customers aren't going to come into your store as often. And this is something Walmart really heavily researched, and they found that that's not true. In fact, customers who downloaded their app came in twice more often than those who didn't. And really, you're creating the events for them to come in. You're letting them know about a sale, a promotion, to come put something on layaway. You're notifying them of loans and layaways coming due. All of that can happen through the mobile app, and it really generates customer convenience and loyalty to your brand. If you're not offering a layaway program, or you're not telling your customers often about layaway programs, you're missing the boat, because all of these retailers are. And like I mentioned, it's the second best part of the business. So get your store's employees talking about them. The only way for your customers to know that you've got a layaway program is to tell them about it. So we provide you material to put in your store. You can again also add it to your pawn ticket. Highly recommend a layaway program and start promoting that today. And then the fifth thing, switching gears again, is spending a few times on a detailed bonus plan for Q4. I believe it's the most powerful operational weapon you have. And when I was thinking about holiday bonuses and rewarding your employees, Of course, you want to make it so that the metrics that you're tracking and that you're basing the bonus on are easily trackable through Bravo. So you want to be able to administer that comp plan really quickly after the holiday season. You want to give the rewards to the employees who hit their bonus plan quickly, and you don't want to spend a lot of January trying to round up the numbers to be able to reward the employees who hit goal. So when you're thinking about a comp plan, use the numbers that are available to you and build it off of that so that you can get that done right after holidays. The other thing is, while money is a great bonus incentive, I think bonuses are starting to shift a little, especially if your employees are getting younger and younger and they're millennials and Gen Z, because millennials and Gen Z actually value experiences more than money. And so I was talking with Yigal, and if you don't know Yigal, I'll mention him on another slide. He's a wonderful resource, and I was just pinging back and forth, do you have any ideas for interesting bonuses for employees who hit holiday goals? And we were talking about experiences. And so one of the things that we were talking about is maybe offering, whoever's the top person an all expense paid vacation for 2. If that seems like crazy and your jaw's on the ground right now, what about dinner at a nice restaurant, movie tickets, a staycation, lots of things that you can do within your town or city that are experiences that would get people excited. Also, if you've got a lot of employees with families, maybe you buy your top performer their Christmas gifts for their kids this year. You can make it really special, meaningful, not necessarily just cash. So those are just a few ideas. Again, if you need more ideas, I recommend joining the Pawn Leaders podcast and listening in there in the Facebook group, and then also talking with your customer success manager. So this is a quote that I really, really like to try to get you excited. The only people who should be worried about the market are those who don't have a strategy, a plan, they're inconsistent with marketing, they're not analyzing their BI, they aren't focused on conversion, they don't have systems in place, and they lack accountability. These are the people who should be worried. Bravo solves these issues for you. You've got a customer success manager that's going to help you with a strategy and a plan. We're going to help you with your marketing. We're going to feed everything into Google, Bing, and Yahoo for you. We're going to geo-target your location with your inventory. We're going to give you the report so that you can compare how you're doing and see day by day how you're performing this holiday season. And Bravo is your system in place that's going to hold you accountable for hitting your goals. So you've got this. If you think of everything you need to do and everything that I've talked about today and it's overwhelming, think about a few things to do each month and you'll make huge progress. I put together a small little calendar for you to follow when you're thinking about holiday, and it starts with today. So you can leave tonight, think about all of this, digest it, wake up tomorrow, and make sure that your team's aligned. Holiday is 46 days away. So get alignment, start talking to your employees, your managers, district managers, regional managers, your spouse, your partners, whoever it is that you talk about your goals for the 4th quarter, get together with them and start planning what you want your October, November, December to look like. I'm going to provide you a bunch of resources at the end of this so you can start to get inspired. If you're not educating your customers about layaways, start doing that right away. Super easy to do. Put some notices or some signs up about that, about the program, add it to your pawn ticket right away, and start selling layaways. It is that time of the year. Again, the 10 items per day is totally something you can do. And so again, start tomorrow and you'll see the impact of that right away. Mobile Pawn, start getting your customers signed up on Mobile Pawn so that they can make those mobile payments. The number one reason why people don't like to put stuff on layaway is because they don't like to come in and make payments on it. They want the item, they're gonna come back in and pick it up. They just don't wanna come in every 2 weeks or every month until they pay it off. So give them a tool to let them do that from their own convenience of their own home. Again, the pawn ticket coupon, I think you should be changing that out every month or two during the holiday season. Keep that fresh and recycled, and make sure you're promoting any sort of specials that you're having. And September is the time that you want to really plan out your bonus plan. Create it, think about it, think about it, think about it, go back to it, read it, look for the loopholes, think about it some more, and then put it into place. And like I mentioned, like a few hours, or even if you could spend a day working on the bonus plan, it's the greatest operational weapon that you have. Again, keep that 10 items per day going into September, and start getting inspired on how you're going to decorate your store. Order the decorations, go on Pinterest, go on Google, start getting ideas on how you want to decorate your cases. And then in October, you're into Q4 and it's go time. And so you're going to want to plan a promotional calendar. Maybe that includes, you know, in November, we're going to have, this week is going to be 10% off tools, and this week we're going to have 10% off electronics. Or start thinking about what ideas and what promotions you want to have in place. I always look to other retailers to see what they're doing, and that's totally okay to do. Look for inspiration. Look what your biggest competitors, Walmart, Amazon, Target, look what they're doing and look what they're offering, and get creative on other things that you can offer that are similar. And then a holiday sale party. One of the things that my dad used to do is a bring a friend event, and it was a night in December after hours. The store would be closed and it would open up for this special one night only best deals of the year party. And the only way you could get in is if you brought a friend, and you just blow out your inventory. He has a webinar that's all about that. It's part of the resource guide that I'm gonna send to you after this webinar. So go ahead and take a look at that, but you can start planning that now. It's not too late. And if you have text messaging, it's a great way to get your customers in the know about them, and keep reminding them as it gets closer. November is really the start of holiday. We've got Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. So those are the big ones in November, and you're gonna wanna start to think about how your sales are gonna do during those 3 days, and what sorts of promotions, emails, texts that you can generate to bring them into your store and to push them to shop on Mobile Pawn, because you know that Black Friday is a huge online retail event, and you want a piece of that action. People are ready to spend money on Black Friday. They should come into your store or go onto your online store and spend it there. November is a time to put decorations up. That seemed to be getting earlier and earlier. I think it's now back to the day after maybe Black Friday or that Monday. Again, look to traditional retailers on when they're getting their holidays up and ready, and I suggest following their lead. And then in December, like I mentioned, holiday sale party, if you want to do something like that. The Christmas countdown is something that I've seen a lot of pawnbrokers do that I really love, and that's basically an advent calendar of items for sale. So on the first day of December, you've got a PlayStation and it's for sale for X dollars. And on the second day of December, you've got a women's watch that's for sale. And every day you have a different promotion. You can segment and blast that out. First one into the store to redeem the deal gets it. You can generate a lot of foot traffic that way. And every time a customer comes in during the holidays, you want to make sure that you're selling them that your store is the place to go for holiday shopping. They don't need to go anywhere else. They can get everything in your store. Consumers have money. They're ready to spend it during the holiday. You got to get them excited to spend it in your store. So like I mentioned, some super helpful resources. I'm going to send you the links after this. Bravo Solution Center is always a great place to go for inspiration and how to do certain stuff. If you haven't heard about Pawn Summit yet, Pawn Summit is our first ever user group conference. It's our 6th annual user group meeting. It's from October 5th to 6th. The 6th is the day that's going to be super focused on Bravo. We're going to have super users. We're going to be talking about how to optimize, how to sell more. We're going to have people from marketing to help you with logo design and pawn ticket coupon design. So come to that. We've got a 40% off promo code for you, Bravo Diamond 19. That's in Dallas, Texas this year. Like I mentioned, that webinar that Steve put on about holiday and what to do to prepare for that, that link will be there for you. Yagala Dato does Pawn Leaders Podcast and Pawn Leaders Community Facebook group. If you don't follow him, I highly, highly recommend that you do. He is a wonderful leader for this industry. He pulls in experts from all different areas and gives you free resources, a free podcast every single week that will help you be a better pawnbroker. And he is a pawnbroker. He's a third-generation pawnbroker. Highly, highly recommend that. Another place is the Bravo Chat for Pawnbrokers. That's a private Facebook group. If you don't know about it, join it. We love having our customers in it. It's only for customers. Regional and national associations. And then last, today's Pawnbroker magazine has really been putting out a lot of good content. I got a promo code from them for 10% off, so you can just let them know Bravo and they'll give you 10% off of the subscription. And lastly, me. I am a resource that you can use anytime. You can email me, you can Facebook me, you can LinkedIn me, but I am happy to help and offer strategy calls or how-to calls, or just I'm here to, if you want to bounce ideas off of, you can always reach out to me. Okay. Thanks, everybody.